Hey there, I'm Jason Logsdon from Amazing Food Made Easy, and I'm really excited today to show you how to make an incredible sous vide prime rib roast using the amazing Snake River Farms American Wagyu prime rib. This is one of my go-to recipes for sous vide prime rib, and it's something that I make every year around the holidays to really celebrate the occasion with my friends and my family. When I was growing up, we always used to roast the prime rib in the oven, and we had some great results and some really good meat out of it. But we're always worried. It was always in the back of our mind whether or not it was going to be perfectly cooked and whether or not it was going to be done when we needed it to be done. So a few years ago, I started using sous vide to cook the prime rib, and that's taken all the stress out of the holiday. I know it's going to be cooked edge to edge, perfectly done, and the best part is it's going to be done when we want it to be done. And that's because there's a wide range of time that works really well for it. You can let it go an extra 2 or 3 hours, and there's going to be no loss of quality. It's still going to turn out perfect. So if you have more gifts than you're expecting, always a good thing, or if you're just in the middle of a really good conversation that you don't want to quit, you don't have to worry about overcooking your prime rib. It's going to turn out perfectly when you're ready to get to it. This prime rib is from Snake River Farms. They gave me an 11-pound gold Wagyu prime rib roast. You can see all the great marbling going throughout it. It's going to have even more flavor and more tenderness than an average prime rib does. When you're sous videing a prime rib, there's 2 main ways to do it. The first is to leave it whole, and that works really well, but you need a big bag and a really big water bath. The second method is to cut it into slabs. Each slab normally has 1 or 2 of the bones in it, and it's still a really big, thick piece of meat. And that's what I prefer to do. There's several benefits to it. You have more even cooking, you have shorter cooking times, and you can also heat it to different temperatures, which is nice if you have some people that like it at medium and others that like medium rare. When you're picking a temperature to sous vide your prime rib at, you just want to stick with the temperature that you normally like your steak done at. I like medium rare, so I tend to go for 131 degrees. Some people like more medium, which is around 135 to 140, and other people like it on the rarer side, around 125 to 128. The amount of time you need to sous vide your prime rib for is completely dependent on how thick it is. For a 2 to 3 inch slab, it's normally going to be about 3.5 to 4 hours. And I know that sounds like a long time, but remember, it's just sitting in the water bath. This is a completely hands-off process. A whole roast will take even longer, generally around 6 to 8 hours. But remember, even with the slabs, you can let these cook 5 to 10 hours with no loss in quality. And that means you don't have to stress about when it's going to be done, especially if you're running behind on the holiday. When I eat steak, I love rich, flavorful sauces on them, like a peppercorn cognac sauce or a pork demi-glace. I think they're amazing. But with an incredible piece of meat, like this Snake River Farms American Wagyu prime rib that you will have spent a lot of money on, I don't want to cover up the flavor of the beef itself. I'm just going to salt it, which will really allow the amazing flavor of this prime rib to shine. I'm just going to serve it with some basil compound butter. It comes together really quickly and will complement the flavor of the meat. They're not going to overshadow it in any way. For the recipe, first preheat the water bath to the temperature of your choice. I prefer 131 for medium rare. You're going to salt the meat, and then you're going to seal it in a sous vide bag. Place it in the water bath and cook it till it's either heated through, which would generally be 3.5 to 4.5 hours for a slab, or 6 to 8 hours for a roast, or even up to 10 hours if you're busy during the day. For the compound butter, take 5 tablespoons of butter, add black pepper. Stir in 2 tablespoons of finely chopped basil, mash it all together, and then it's ready to be used. You can make this ahead of time and it will last in the refrigerator for several days. When you're ready to eat, remove the sous vide prime rib from the water bath. Take it out of the bags and dry it off really, really well. Making sure it's completely dry is key to getting a good sear. I like to use either paper towels or just a drying cloth to get all the moisture out of it. And give it a good sear. You're looking at about 1 to 2 minutes per side maximum. You just want to get a good crust on it without overcooking the inside of the meat. I like to use a cast iron pan and a blowtorch, but you can use any pan you have, or if you have a grill that gets up to high temperatures and it's not snowing out during your holiday season, then that's also a really good option. Once it's seared, you're ready to put it on a plate, add the butter, and serve it to your friends and family. You can either serve it whole as a big presentation, or you can plate it individually if you're looking for a more upscale meal. This sous vide prime rib has been a go-to recipe for me and my family for the last several years, and hopefully it can become a part of your family traditions too.